This is a simple test. This is the Fifine Tank 3 with no enhancements playing through the Vocaster 2 audio interface. No, boom. I need to raise this up just a bit. Hold on. Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we've got the gain pretty well set, right? So this is the Vocaster 2 and the Tank 3 both in default. Now it does have some compression and things like that, but generally this is out of the gate. So now I'm going to try, and I'm going to use the app so that I know exactly what I'm doing here. And with the app, I'm going to go right into the enhancement of the clean enhancement. And that's just a fancy way of saying that the title of the EQ setting and compression and rumble reduction, whatever the terminology would, I guess that's what it will be, but there's got to be another title. Anyway, so this is with the clean setting in the Vocaster 2 coming up in 3, 2, 1. All right, so now we are in the clean setting of the Vocaster 2. Now, it actually, I like it because it allows articulation. It allows me to hear the fact that articulation is important. When it's so muffled under the default settings, I kind of slide into that mode. But when it's crisp like this, it compels me to be more articulate because it actually picks that up, right? So let's go back to the default setting in 3, 2, 1. Now we're back into the default setting. Now this is a very warm setting. I do like that, but there happens to be a warm enhancement setting with Vocaster, and we'll get to that one in just a second. But next we're going to try, well, okay, let's try the warm setting. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. And now we are in the warm setting in the Vocaster 2 hub. And I kind of like this. It's not too bad. It's not too bright, crisp. It's got a little coziness to it. Not as harsh, I guess, as clean, and definitely more crisp than the default setting. So this is the warm, and now we're going to go back into the default setting in 3, 2, 1, and we're back in the default setting. Now also hear a hum, and I'm pretty sure that's the fan over me. So it's just picking that up, and I think I've got the sound setting, so it's not picking that up, hopefully. So next we're going to go into, we've heard the clean and we've heard the warm. So now, let me pull this over here because the camera's going way over here. And so the next one we're going to try is the bright setting. So yeah, when I clicked it, when I chose it, it jumped right into it without me turning it on. So, okay, in 3, 2, 1. Now we're in the bright setting. Now, yeah, this is higher. This has the higher highs and the mids and the same amount of bass as the clear or the clear. I forgot the clean. So again, this makes you appreciate the need for articulation, and it helps you do it. And we're going to go back into the warm setting, or not the warm, we're going to go back into the default setting in 3, 2, 1, and now we're back to the default setting. One last setting that we have to choose. Now you can adjust the EQ and the compression and the rumble reduction however you want. There's not a lot of room. You got plus and minus 6 in the EQ, and you've got up and down slider of compression, but you don't really know what you're actually dialing in. And with rumble reduction, you have none, low, and high. And again, I'm not really sure what rumble reduction is. So anyway, so for the final enhancement, we're going to listen to the radio. And I have a hard time always, for some reason, I have a hard time saying radio. And I think it's an articulate thing, because when I say radio, okay, we'll see if this helps. But anyway, in 3, 2, 1, and now we're in the radio. Now somebody likened this to the PBS thing, and I don't think that's the case. PBS has the warmer kind of sound to it, like the default setting in this, I think. I don't like this one. I can hear some harshness. It does have upper lows, lower mid, and just a tad higher treble. And noise reduction, rumble reduction is on low, compression is midways. Haven't really paid attention to the compression on the other settings, so we'll see after we do this. But let's go back to default one more time in 3, 2, 1, and now we're back to the default. And finally, we're going to go just down the list. So when I turn it back on, it will start out with radio on top. 3, 2, 1. Now we're listening to the radio sound, the radio enhancement of the Vocaster 2 Hub software. The next setting will be the clean in 3, 2, 1. Now we're in the clean setting. Don't notice that much difference, tell you the truth. The settings are completely different. We've got low lows and high mids and highs in the clean, and not so much with the radio setting. I don't notice that much difference. But let's just jump into the warm setting in 3, 2, 1, and now we're in the warm setting. See, I just don't hear that much difference going down the list. And I guess that's kind of why I end up jumping back to the default setting, because that's an obvious difference. And so I'm going to finally go back into the bright setting, the last setting we have. And again, you can dial in any sound you want, and I'll do that in just a second. And the bright setting in 3, 2, 1. Now we're in the bright setting. And see, I don't hear that much difference. We have the higher highs, higher mids, a little bit lower bass, compression midways, and rumble reduction on high. So just looking at this, I'm not going to talk. Well, let me just turn it off. Well, it's not going to matter. Well, now we're back to default. Now we're back to the default setting. And I get this is more of the PBS setting to me. Yeah. Chocolate cake. That sounds good. I like chocolate cake. Chocolate cake. That would be really good. I think so. I think chocolate cake would be my favorite. Anyway, but I just want to go through the list one more time and pay attention to what the settings are for the compression and the rumble reduction. So starting out with radio, and I think it kicks in, so we'll just let it. So it does kick in. Compression is midways. Rumble reduction is on low. Clean. The equalizer changes a little bit, but the rumble reduction is on high. Compression is midways. I'm believing compression just doesn't move. Going to the warm setting in 3, 2, 1. And, I can hear a difference in the background noise, but I don't hear it really in my voice when I make the changes. But here we have the high for rumble reduction. Again, no change in compression. And the final setting is bright. Oh, right. Bright. There we go. And we are in bright with a high rumble reduction and compression midways. So none of these settings affect the compression. And they keep it midstream the whole 9 yards. But they do go back and forth between high and low, but none of them are off. A matter of fact, bright is on high, warm is on high, clean is on high, and radio is on low. So there you have it. And I'm going to go back and listen to this just to see if I can hear the difference so I don't hear it coming out of my mouth and anyway, you know what I mean. So I'd like to end it on on the clean, and we're now back into the clean. And before I stop, let me go back to default one more time and go back into clean. Now we're in default. This just has a coziness to it, you know? I really like it, but there again, it's almost lazy, I think. And I don't feel compelled to articulate like I do otherwise. So let's turn on the clean. 3, 2, 1. And we're back into the clean. And I guess when you hear the consonants clicking in and all the vocalization really taking place, then hearing this kind of makes you just want to do it. Makes you want to speak the King's English, I guess is what you'd say. So anyway, I'm going to close this now and take a listen. Thanks for watching, Tom. No problem, Tom. Thanks for having me. No problem. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.